All right, y'all, the decision's been made. I am going to be selling this car. And I'm not going to explicitly say what I'm planning on getting, but I am going to be selling it. And a couple things I need to do to get ready to sell. I need to replace the thermostat on it because from the dealership, it was faulty. And it has problems in the cold where basically whenever I start the car, if I turn the AC on, if it's below 55 degrees exactly, if I turn this AC on before the oil's warmed up, the thermostat fails. But if I wait till the oil's warmed up, the thermostat doesn't fail. But I can reset the code and the thermostat is fine. So I don't freaking know what the deal is. But one of the things I have to do is I got to replace these taillights. And there's a problem with these taillights because the ones that I bought are Chinese. So naturally that means I have to do some maneuvering and goofing around to get them to work. You can see that we have lights in the shop now. Looks pretty great. But we still need to get that back part figured out. Okay, so this should just slide out now. Pretty easy. Something else funny is I forgot to plug in this light last time, but I didn't feel like going back and fixing it at the time. So here I am fixing it now. Check that out. Take that out. Before I proceed, let me even see if this plug fits right there or not. All right, so we're not totally cooked. Hopefully. Ah, look at that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember what the issue is with these taillights. It seems to me like it's gonna fit perfectly fine. It honestly, that looks good. Wow. If I'm being completely honest with y'all, I'm kind of getting tired of the whole BMW thing. And I don't mean like the maintenance and stuff. Almost killed me. I mean like the hype around it. Let me put some perspective on what it was like for me buying this car. Originally, I was gonna get an E46, like an old one with a 6-cylinder. And the plan was to modify it and turbocharge it. I'm glad I did not do that. I will say that. I'm glad I didn't do that. But I didn't know that BMWs were becoming really popular at the time. I just thought a BMW was like a grandma car. And I was like, I'm gonna modify this grandma car. And I already liked how the E46 looked, but I was like, I'm gonna make it look really good, you know? I'm gonna make it fast. I thought like the whole point was to take a car that wasn't fast and wasn't really much of anything and to like make it cool. But then I started to realize slowly that BMWs were actually kind of sick. And the thing that kind of tipped me off to that is I was looking up like which BMWs were good to modify because I couldn't find any clean E46s at the time. So I wanted to find like, okay, which BMWs are like actually really good for modification? Which ones like hold up, you know, that are decently which ones hold up that are decently priced, maybe something a little newer. And I just so happened to stumble across a Martini, I think it's Martini Works YouTube video talking about like the best cars to modify. And one of the cars was an E92 335i. Now, of course, at the time, I didn't know anything about these cars. You know, I thought, oh, it's just a BMW, whatever. And I wasn't sure what I was gonna expect. So whenever he said that these cars come with twin turbos, I was like, holy crap, I need to get one of those, you know? Like, that's freaking sick. I didn't know that BMW made like fast cars like that, you know? I was legitimately surprised. And so then began the search for a 335i. Now, eventually I did find a 335i, and it was this one, and it was literally the first one I'd ever test driven. Now, I also wasn't aware of the weight difference between a coupe and a convertible, and so I was just like, you know, it's a hard top, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm not gonna have as many issues with it. It's totally fine. And what ended up happening is I bought the car. Now, one thing that was kind of funny about it is I was not aware that the E92s came with different engines depending on the year. I was under the impression that they all had the N54. Well, I was wrong. This actually has the N55, and I didn't realize all the differences. I didn't realize it was more reliable than the N54. And I knew it was single turbo because I was at the dealership and I looked it up. And I remember the guy, one of the guys who was there told me it was a single turbo. And I was like, well, if it's single turbo, why does it say twin power turbo on it? Because it has the twin scroll turbine. I didn't know that. Or the twin scroll turbo, whatever. So anyway, at the time, I was like, okay, well, it's not gonna be that big of a difference. It's just this one has a single turbo, the other one has two. Whatever, you know, it's not a huge deal. I didn't realize that they actually are almost completely different engines. Like the amount of power they can handle, the mods, a lot of the stuff you put on them is the same, right? A lot of the modifications you can transfer from M54 to M55, vice versa. But I didn't realize how different the engines really were. So I got this car thinking it was gonna be like the M54, where you can make crazy power on it really easily. It ended up not being like that. So, whatever. But I didn't realize that BMWs were popular at the time. I just wanted this car because it looked cool. I heard they were good for modifying. They were relatively easy to modify. And I also heard that, that they were fun to drive, okay? So imagine my shock whenever I start actually like getting into cars, looking at like BMW like specs and like all the other cars they sell and finding out that they're crazy. In fact, I actually had my first encounter with a cool quote-unquote BMW whenever I was looking for this car. I went to this sketchy dealership in Houston and they had an E92 M3. Now, I had no idea what that was at the time, okay? And at the time, I also thought that fast cars only came with V8s, okay? I thought a 6-cylinder would be slow. I thought a 6-cylinder was like bottom trim. So I thought I was buying like a bottom trim car, which I mean, I wasn't buying a totally bottom trim car. And whenever I saw the E92 M3 and saw I had a V8, I was like, oh, that's a top trim, you know? So the bottom trim only has a straight 6 or a V6. I didn't even know it was a straight 6. I thought it was a V6. I was confused why it said I6 whenever I was looking at buying one. Anyway, that M3 was sick, dude. I'm talking, it was beautiful. And I was in love with it the moment I saw it. Especially knowing it had a V8. Dude, and it sounded so good. I didn't test drive it. The guy started it up for us and let us hear it. But it was so clean, man. And I knew, I was like, you know what? I think BMW is like, this is like sick. I didn't know they made cool cars like this. I was genuinely surprised. And so, got this car and started to watch these YouTube videos of these BMWs, and I was seeing all these BMWs just like racing, beating almost every single car they race in drag races, roll races, beating the Mercedes, beating the Audi, except for in a dig, of course. And I was like, dang, I didn't know BMWs were like fast and like cool, you know? This is kind of surprising to me. And then I find out that BMWs are like a huge trend at the time. And then I'm like, well, crap, it looks like I just bought in on a trend, you know? And I didn't. I bought a BMW because I thought it was like a grandma car. I didn't know they made fast cars. So now it's to the point where the BMW hype is ridiculous, okay? I see people saying they would take a G82 M4 over a W205 C63 Black Series. That is like genuinely the most insane levels of cope I think I've ever heard. Like, who on earth is taking a G82 M4 over a freaking C63 Black Series? Like, that's ridiculous, okay? And like, granted, I love BMWs. I love them, okay? I own one right now. But I'm kind of tired. I'm tired of the BMW glaze, and I'm tired of looking like I'm following a trend. Because originally I was gonna get a G20 M340i. I wanted to be 58, but guess what? Everyone else is already buying that car. So why would I want to look like everyone else? I don't even really. Do I want an M340i? I mean, yeah, I do, because they can, you know, you can make power on them pretty easy. They're nice cars. I want a 4-door, but at the same time, I don't want to look like everyone else. I want to be different. And so that led me to making a decision to get something else. It's still a 4-door. I'm not gonna talk about what it is exactly yet, because I don't know, I don't even know if I'm going to get one for sure. But I will say it is one of my dream cars, and I was holding off getting it because I thought the maintenance was gonna be crazy expensive. But it turns out the maintenance is actually not bad if you do it yourself. It's only the dealership that makes it bad. I will say, here's one hint I'll give you. The serpentine belt job on that car is kind of a nightmare. And you have to take apart almost the whole front end to do it, or at a minimum take off almost all the coolant hoses and the heat exchangers that are in front of it. That's your hint, all right? That's your hint to which car I'm looking at getting. I've made up my mind. And I don't need a downpipe and a tune to make the amount of power I was gonna make on the M340. It comes stock that way, so. Anyways, I'm getting tired of the BMW glaze. It's getting old, it's getting annoying. Everyone drives BMW. They were the best selling luxury car brand last year, and I just don't want to be like everyone else. I absolutely love this car. I love German cars, and I would definitely keep this car if I could, but I'm ready for something faster, and I kind of want a 4-door, and I also want to be out of this trend. So that's my little rant for today. Now let's check out these taillights. Woo! Oh yeah, yeah. That is the best the back of my car has looked ever. Tail lights work, guys. I'm honestly surprised. So that's just another, just goes to show you, you can get stuff from eBay or from China and it'll be perfectly fine. It still works. Now I don't know specifically if that's exactly how the taillights are supposed to look. I'll do some research, but honestly, it was half price to get these lights off eBay as it would have been to buy OEM. You ask me, I think that's a win. So say whatever you want. Thanks for listening to my rant. Thanks for watching me change my tail lights and gaslight myself into thinking I was gonna have to do some crazy stuff. It's all good. Make sure to subscribe if you wanna see more videos. If you like the video, you like it. If you don't like it, just dislike it. I don't freaking care. It's a free country, man. Do whatever you want. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.